त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तिसुदेशिकेन्द्रं द्वैपायनं सूत्रकृतं मुनीन्द्रं श्रीशङ्करं भाष्यकृतं यतीन्द्रं मद्देशिकञ्चापि नमामि विद्यै। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितप्रज्ञानगणः प्रत्यगर्तो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ॐ प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। Pranams everyone. So we are in the second chapter, Sloka number 21. Shri Bhagavan uvacha Veda vinashinam nityam yena majam avyayam katham sapurusha partha kam gatayati hantikam. So Bhagavan is basically reiterating that Atma, Akarta, Abhokta. And in this shloka we saw that Atma is not just Akarta, Atma is also not Hetukarta. It cannot instigate anything. And Bhagavan brought Jnani into the picture. Basically he said that person, how can he kill? Or who can he kill and whom can he instigate? This is to basically say that Jnani Lakshana and Atma Lakshana are one and the same. Once a person understands that he is Atma, or then he is that Jnani and his features are the same as Atma's features. And for us to understand that we are Atma, basically in the last class we discussed about the two stages to understand that I am Atma. Aham Brahmasmi. When we say Aham Brahmasmi, how to understand that? Basically, first of all, we keep understanding ourselves to be this body-mind complex. But first stage, we have to understand that the consciousness principle is different from this body. And the analogy that we took is the light of the hand. The light is not part, product or property of the hand, but the light reflection on the hand is necessary for us to be able to see the hand or for the hand to function. In the same way, the consciousness principle is not an integral part of the body. It is not part of the body. It is not generated within the body. It is not a property of the body. It is not a property of the skin or the property of the heart or the property of the mind. The consciousness principle is not a product of it also. It's not that just like the heart pumps in blood, the blood is generated within the body. The consciousness is not generated within. The consciousness is an independent entity. The first step for us is to understand that these two are separate. That's the first stage. Then the second stage is, I have always understood the body to be with consciousness. I have to now, and I have been owning up to this body to say that when I say I am doing, I am reading, I take this body to be the I, self. What should I do? Then I have to negate that. I have to drop this notion that I am this body and claim myself to be the consciousness principle. So, and this, how do we do? For us to get this knowledge, Right now, whatever knowledge we are doing Shravanam, we are listening, but for us to be able to get a conviction around this knowledge, the mind has to be pure. The mind should have chitta shuddhi, and for which karma yoga is an essential step towards it. Through karma yoga, our mind becomes purified, and in the purified mind, in the mind which is clean and does not actually waver, this knowledge will be able to, one will be able to understand this knowledge and assimilate this knowledge. And even once after understanding this knowledge, there may be certain doubts that might come in at points of time, various points of time. Those doubts would have to be clarified through a process called maranam. So Shravanam is listening, then maranam. Then comes the assimilation portion, where all the behavioral tendencies that we do by out of habit are all altered to the new setup or the new understanding. That phase or that sadhana is called as nididhyasanam. That shift training, the shift training is called as nididhyasanam, where I train myself to be not the body mind but the Atma. And through this nididhyasanam, the shift becomes quite natural, spontaneous. Just like whenever I refer to now myself as this body, this is natural to me. Whenever somebody calls me out, oh, you are fat, okay, I am fat. Or I am tall, I am old, I consider I to be this body spontaneously. Through the nididhyasanam technique, I would be able to, not that I will go around telling myself to be Atma, but that spontaneity will come, that I am this Atma. Aham Brahmasmi. That knowledge will set in deeply. And so now what we have seen in this sloka, that Atma is not Hetu Karta. Atma is not an instigator also. And through this portion, it's all Atma features. Atma Nityaha, Atma Sarvagataha, Atma Nirvikaraha, Atma Karta, Atma Bhokta. All this, whatever we have learnt now, all seems to be for a third person, Atma. Now we have to slowly shift that to be I am that. I am that immortal, I am that reality, I am all pervading, I am always the subject, I am free from those 6 modifications, I am the akarta, I am the abhokta. That is what we have to focus upon. Now in this sloka, as I said, Atma Lakshana as well as the Atma Jnana Phala is given. So basically why is this important, where Bhagavan brings this jnani into here, and especially around discussing about karta and bhokta, especially about discussing about actions and the results of the actions. Why? And Shankaracharya does this vichara and says, the reason why Bhagavan brings this jnani here is to conclude that the Shastras say that, the Shastras basically say that a jnani is free from karma. In the sense, a jnani does not need not do any prescribed karmas. The jnani, once a person becomes a jnani, he need not do any karmas, even the nitya naimitya karmas. He need not do the sandhya vandana, whatever duties that are prescribed to him. He need not do, for whatever be his ashrama, Suppose if he is a brahmachari, is a grihastha, is a sannyasi, all the dharma, the vishesha dharmas that are prescribed for that particular ashrama or the varna that he is in, he need not perform them. So that is the reason why Bhagavan brings this jnani into this sloka. But what for are these karmas? For us, yes, we have to perform all these karmas. And why do we need to perform these karmas? These karmas help in getting our mind purified. So until we get a pure mind and until we get to this jnana yoga, we will have to perform this karmas, whatever has been prescribed to our varna, to our ashrama, whatever duties that we have to do, we must do. We cannot escape karma. We cannot claim ourselves to be akarta and therefore I need not do any of the duties that are prescribed to me. No, that is not the way. Until we get the jnana, until we get the jnana nishta, we have to perform karmas. Only once a person gets jnana nishta, there are no more karmas for that person. So a jnani is karma abhava. So in this shloka, basically Shankaracharya says a jnani does not have any duties. That is what he is giving as a takeaway from this shloka. And all the karmas that are prescribed for varnas and ashramas, all the things that have been said, perform these daily routines, daily actions, all these panchamaha yajnas that we will be discussing later, are all for ajnanis only. Ajnanis will have to do karma and the karma kanda will benefit ajnanis. So that is the important one that take away from that shloka. Now we will go to shloka number 22. Again the meter changes. Vasamsi jīrṇāni yatā vihāya navāni grihnāti naro parāni tata sharirāni vihāya jīrṇāni anyāni samyāti navāni dehi. Vasamsi jīrṇāni yatā vihāya navāni grihnāti naro parāni tata sharirāni vihāya jīrṇāni anyāni samyāti navāni dehi. Again, as I said, all the features of Atma are already given. Bhagavan is only reiterating some of the features again and again here. And here Bhagavan reiterates that Atma does not change. Atma nirvikaraha. He is again reiterating that. But another important thing that Bhagavan brings about in this shloka is Bhagavan talks about punarjanma and maranam, basically rebirth and death. What is death? What is rebirth? And what happens at the time of death and rebirth? That is being explained, especially with regards to what happens to Atma at the time of death and rebirth. And for explaining that, Bhagavan uses an example. He uses an example to state that. What example? Bhagavan says this death and rebirth are exactly like changing the clothes. Changing the clothes or our costumes or dress, whatever. The dress that we wear is only a superficial item that covers ourselves, that we have put on. Now this dress does not determine whether we exist or not exist. Even before we put on this dress, we exist. When the dress is on our body, we exist. And even when the dress is removed, we continue to exist. Not only that, when one dress is removed, another dress is put on, the change is only to the superficial layer. The change is only to the dress, but the inner content remains the same. I do not become another person just because I wear another dress. I remain the same. When we have changed our dress, I don't say, I have changed. I can say, I have changed my dress, yes. The change is only of the superficial thing and not it does not change my essential core factor. In the same way, what it says is, every time a living being is born, it is only the jiva is coming as freshly dressed. The same jiva comes with a new dress. That is what is mentioned in this sloka. Atma is compared to stula sharira. Atma is compared to stula sharira, and the stula sharira is compared to the dress. Okay, there are some questions. What moves out and changes body in Atma or Sukshma Sharira? We'll be looking into those things now. So, Atma is compared to Stula Sharira. Remember, Atma is compared to Stula Sharira, and the Stula Sharira is compared to the dress. Right now, body and dress, that's how we are taking it here. That is now compared against Atma and Stula Sharira. And Atma and the body. Now we know that Jiva is a mixture of Atma and Anatma. Jiva is a mixture of Atma and Anatma. Anatma is those three physical bodies which we have seen. And now, right now, we are seeing Atma Swarupa here. And those Anatma, the three bodies are Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira. Stula, Sukshma, Karana Sharira. The gross body or the physical body, the subtle body, and the causal body. There are three bodies. Now, the Karana Sharira, the causal body, is called as the āyatanam. Āyatanam means abode, place. Āyatanam for our papa and punya. Which means all the papa and punya reside there. Of this particular jiva, it gets stored in the Karana Sharira. So the Karana Sharira does not die. It is always there. For the papa and punya to fructify, the papa and punya, how do they fructify? They fructify as either sorrow or joy. Remember, whenever we are going through any kind of sorrow, it is the result of our papa karma in the past. Whenever we are going through any joy, it is the result of some punya karma that we have done in the past. Now, for this papa and punya to fructify as joy or sorrow, we need instruments. And therefore, based on the papa and punya, in the Karana Sharira, we get the Sukshma Sharira. The mind, the Jnanendriyas, the Prana, the Karmendriyas are all based on the papa and punya, for us to experience papa and punya. And for us to, the Stula Sukshma Sharira is actually the instrument through which we are going to experience. And there needs to be a physical body also to receive that experience. And for us to receive that experience, the sorrow and the joy, we need the Stula Sharira, the physical body. And that is known as Bhoga āyatanam. Bhoga means Bhokta, the experience. To experience, we need a place, an abode. And that is called as Stula Sharira. That is Stula Sharira. What is the Sukshma Sharira? The Sukshma Sharira is Bhoga Sādānam, the instruments through which we experience. So we need instruments to experience, and for the experience itself to happen, we need a sharira. And that's called as stula sharira. Yes, Ashish ji.
Would it be the one that I know you just said that we experience through the body, and what experiences is the sukshma sharira.
No. Okay. The jiva is a mixture. The jiva is a mixture of all three. The jiva experiences it. The experience, to experience that, you need an instrument to receive that experience. And the instruments are the sukshma sharira. And the body experiences it along with the body, as in both the stula and sukshma sharira will experience. Of course, the physical body also experiences. So, for example, the sorrow is in the mind. Correct? The mind is sukshma sharira. Sometimes we get somewhere hurt in the physical body. So the physical body also experiences that the hurt, or suppose we fall somewhere, there has been an accident. In our Shastras, there is nothing called an accident. Basically, everything happens due to a cause. The cause is the karma that we have done in the past. So that accident, whatever we had gone through, that is experienced by the physical body, and the pain or the sorrow that comes along with that is experienced by the mind. So we need an instrument as well as the body to be able to experience our punya or papa's fructifications, which is joy or sorrow. Okay. So we need a stula sharira. We need a sharira, not a special. Here in the case of jiva, we say stula sukshma karana sharira. Once the body travels across from this life to another world, it takes in another body. So that we don't call it a stula sharira there, but there is another sharira that is taken up by the sukshma sharira. We will see that when we are coming to the 15th chapter.
Okay. Thank you.
So, for a jiva, for a particular karma bundle that has fructified, the sukshma sharira materializes, and to experience the sorrow or joy, the sukha or dukkha, the jiva, basically the sukshma karana sharira, it takes a corresponding stula sharira. So to experience the karma phala, the stula sukshma sharira takes in a stula sharira, which we call it as birth. I think I'll just go quickly to a topic which we had covered in the introduction to Vedanta for us to understand this, because a lot of people may have forgotten or may not have attended it.
Yep.
So there is what is known as 3 types of karma. There is whenever a jiva is born, whenever we are born, at the time of birth, we are bound to experience certain karma phalas in this life. That is called as Prarbda karma. Which means whatever we have to experience in this life, it's called as Prarbda. That's why sometimes we always say, it's all my Prarbda, it's all written. Whatever we call ourselves as fate, this is my fate. That's all considered to be Prarbda. What is Prarbda? What is this karma phala where we do not have a choice, or whatever we had got without any effort is all our Prarbda. For example, we got our parents, we got this physical body, we got the place of our birth, we got the early childhood, we got the environment in which we grew up. These are all not something that I had worked towards. These have been given to me. And whatever has been given to me without me putting any effort is the result of, or comes out of my Prarbda karma. And similarly, as I grow older, there are certain things that I do without any effort, it comes to me. Or even with putting in a lot of effort, it does not come to me. These are considered a Prarbda karma's effect. So this is considered Prarbda karma. That's one. Now, as I live in this world, I do a lot of actions, karma. Those will be actually, those are the karmas that are actually created in this life now. That is another set of karma. That is called as Aagami karma. And every action I do in this life creates a karma pala. That's all Aagami karma, and not everything I will be able to fructify, or not everything will fructify in this life itself. Those get stored. And it gets stored into a huge bank account for this particular jiva, which is known as Sanchita karma. The Sanchita karma is a huge karma pile for this jiva, which has been the storage of all the karmas that this particular jiva has done across multiple births. So that is called as Sanchita karma. And from that Sanchita karma bundle, a small portion is actually removed and given for this life, which is known as Prarbda karma. And in this life, when this jiva performs actions, it all goes into the Aagami karma. The Aagami karma, some of it are fructified in this life itself, some of it or most of it are taken back to the Sanchita karma bundle. So there are three types of karma: Sanchita, Prarabdha, Aagami karma. Now, every action creates papa or punya. So there is no way that I can say this action is neutral. That never happens. More on this, which action creates punya, which action creates papa, what is the action to be performed, what is the action not to be performed, we will see it in the third chapter, where Bhagavan talks about karma yoga in detail. Now, Prarabdha karma, you understand. Prarabdha karma is the small karma portion that is given to this jiva for it to be exhausted in this life. So all the Prarabdha karma will be exhausted in this life itself. So when a Prarabdha karma is plucked out from the Sanchita karma, depending on the punya or papa that is there in this bundle, this jiva will take the stula sharira based on that. This jiva will take, so stula sharira meaning it can be a human birth, it can be an animal, it can be an insect, a rat, whatever. You take that based on the Prarabdha. And once you are taken a human birth, then the kind of parents, the kind of living, the kind of food, clothing, shelter that you get, for which you have not done any action in this life, all comes out of this Prarabdha karma. So all this is out of Prarabdha karma. There is no need to feel jealous about anybody. And the thing is, this Prarabdha karma is such a way that we get a human birth this life. But it does not really mean that the next life will be human birth. Because the next life, when the Prarabdha karma is plucked out, it depends on what is the combination of papa and punya. Depending on that, a body is taken. It need not always be a human body. Okay, now we got that clear. Now we'll come here. So, this jiva, which is this sukshma and karana sharira, it takes a stula sharira depending on the prarabdha karma. And until this prarabdha karma is exhausted, the stula sharira will remain for jiva. That's why some people might be very old and yet they may not. Some people have a long life and they may go through lots of pain in their lives at the end of their lives, and the body, they will be still alive. And the reason is, until the prarabdha karma is exhausted, the stula sharira will remain for the jiva to experience sukha, dukkha. The moment the prarabdha karma is exhausted, the jiva leaves the stula sharira. The jiva just drops the stula sharira, leaves out of it. And that is what we call it as death. So the death is when the prarabdha karma is exhausted, the jiva drops the stula sharira and leaves it. And the jiva takes the next stula sharira depending on the next prarabdha karma. So a jiva keeps taking and leaving stula shariras, various stula shariras, thereby getting born again, dying, born, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. Punarapi maranam, punarapi jīrṇam. Ida samsara bahudutkara. Adi Shankara said in Bhajagovinda. And for each of us jiva, we have had millions of lives. We have had taken millions of bodies until now. We had been there in the times of Krishna. We had been there in the times of Rama. We had been times in all the avatars times also. How do we break this cycle? Only through moksha. Moksha is the only way that a jiva escapes punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam. And that is why we are here. We want to break this cycle. Now, we talked about Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira, Stula Sharira. We said the Jiva, which is actually Sukshma Karana Sharira, and the reflected consciousness, takes another body, which is Stula Sharira, during every birth. Okay. Now, what kind of dress we wear and how long we keep the dress, we had already seen. So, when a person changes and takes on a new dress, what sort of a dress is taken by the person? How does the person decide on what dress to wear? It depends on the activity that the person will take up, right? How do I decide on what clothes to wear today? Suppose the person wants to go to a paddy field. He's a farmer. He has to till the land. Can he go in a suit and a tie and the shoes and all those things to do farming? No. He will take the dress as required by the action. Similarly, if a person is firefighter, can he go with no covering on his body and try to do as if he's a farmer there? No. The dressing depends on the activity that we have to perform. And sometimes for us, we take multiple dress clothes for the same day. To the office, we wear one set of clothes, then at home, once we are back, we wear, and then while going to bed, another clothes, home wear, night wear, whatever. There are multiple changes that we have to. So depending on the activity, we keep changing our dress. Similarly, in the same way, the jiva takes the stula sharira based on the karma. So what we mean, it means this, we should not find fault with our physical body. So why am I born as a female? Why am I born as a male? Why is my nose crooked? Why is my eyes are so small? Why am I short? Why am I dark? All these things, we should not find fault. We should not get, this has been chosen by the jiva based on the karma. We have to accept as it is. We do not have a choice. We have a choice to change in the future births, provided we keep doing good karmas. The good karmas, whether and the physical body does not even matter for us. What should matter for us is how we are growing spiritually. Then the next question comes in, how long will we keep this dress? It all depends on different people. Some people change the body frequently, some people change the dress frequently. They change their wardrobe totally. They say, every few years I change my entire wardrobe. Some people take pride in saying, all this set of clothes, every 5 years I go for a new set of clothes. That's a choice, but how does the jiva leave this body and take another body? Bhagavan compares this to worn out dresses. When a dress gets worn out, normally when a dress gets torn what we do? We change. We throw this, we buy another one. So Bhagavan says the same thing. He says, jīrṇāni vāsamsi vihāya. Vāsamsi jīrṇāni yatā vihāya. We saw that. Vāsamsi jīrṇāni yatā vihāya. Jīrṇāni vāsamsi vihāya. A person throws away the dresses which are worn out. Why? Because it does not serve its purpose. But at the same time, he cannot go without any dress. And therefore, for the sake of transaction, this jiva puts on another dress. In the same way, so navani aparani grihnati. Aparani means new clothes, other clothes, fresh clothes. Navani is new, aparani clothes, new clothes. So he takes to go out. So this jiva goes to the dressing room or the green room, puts on the new clothes, quietly changes, comes up. Then nobody when seeing goes in, goes out, comes out. The jiva continues, but it is invisible wherever he is. So this green room for this jiva consists of various dresses, varieties of wardrobes, meaning varieties of bodies to choose from. Manushya shariram, donkey, monkey, human being, lizard, snake, cockroach, mosquito, or anything. It depends on the karma that has to be exhausted for that particular life or particular period. So the jiva puts on the dress, comes out again for transaction. Now question will come, when do I get good body? When do I get human body? When do I get mosquito body? Shastra says, if we have lot of punyam for this prarabdha, in this prarabdha, when the plucked out prarabdha from the Sanchita karma, if there are lots of punya there, then it is a good sharira you will get. Punyena punya lokam, papena papa lokam. So when you do lots of punya there, then you get deva lokam or whatever. So you get the bodies of devas. Papena papa lokam. Ubhabhyam madhyam manushya lokam. Ubhabhyam means equal mixture. So too much punya, you get higher loka. Too much papa, you get lower lokas. If it is a kind of an equal mixture, manushya loka. So now we are all in the mixture level. Then another question might come, like, okay, I get this manushya body only when there is a kind of equal mixture of punya and papa. Now if a jiva has to throw away only a worn out body, so what we said, vasamsi jīrṇāni yatā vihāya. So only when the body, when the dress is worn out, we throw the body or we throw the dress. But then why does, if that is the case, then everybody should die only at the age of 80 or 85, only when the body is worn out. But we see death right from the day of birth onwards till the body is about 80, 85 or even 100 plus. So what does this jīrṇāni mean? Has the body become jīrṇāni, worn out already? Shastra says yes. Jīrṇāni, the body has become worn out. And what is the example? How do we understand this? The same example that I gave some time back. Some people who wear new clothes for a short time, they wear new clothes only for few times, and then they discard it in a month and they want to buy another. Though the clothes may still be new, they will be willing to throw or give away, and they want to keep changing their wardrobes depending on according to fresh designs, new designs, new fashion. Whereas for a poor person, he may not be able to afford it. He will wear that old dress until it's torn or worn out, or until the stars are seen, whatever. So, to change the dress, it does not depend on whether it is new or old. Or whether to continue wearing or not is decided by the person who wears. In the same way, the jiva will keep the body only until the prarabdha karma is exhausted. If the prarabdha karma is exhausted in 15 days, the jiva will leave the body within 50 or on the 15th day. For that body, the jiva, the body is jīrṇam. Jīrṇam, worn out. That's why when you go to an 85-year-old person, if he goes to a doctor and says, how long will this body run in this condition? The doctors will say, I don't know. We'll try to repair it, we'll try to maintain it, but whether the body lasts for 6 days or 6 years, it's not in their hands. Some people are bedridden for years together. Why? And that's why the sarira is not being jīrṇam for that jiva. And some people, just like that, they pass away within a few seconds. They've been healthy for so long, then suddenly they pass away. So the calculation on the number of years for the body will not work. When does a physical body considered worn out? It's only when the prarabdha karma gets exhausted. So if a person has got lot of prarabdha karma, and even if the body has got lots of diseases, the body will continue to stay alive. Or rather, the jiva will not drop the body. The jiva will not let go of the body. That comes under prarabdha karma. People do ask for Anayasena maranam. They say, let my death be just like that. Let me not go through this suffering. Actually, it is not in our hands. It all depends on our papa and punya. And it all depends on our prarabdha plus a little bit of our Aagami karma. Some of the Aagami karma gets fructified in this janma itself. Not everything is prarabdha. That's why when you go to an astrologer, what does the horoscope say basically? The horoscope is, for people who believe in horoscope, I'm going to say this. Horoscope is basically a reflection of your prarabdha karma. It just gives you an idea of how your prarabdha karma is going to be for this body. Now, there are other factors also. The Aagami karmas also make a factor. So there are the papa or punya that you do in this janma can also alter things that are going to come in this life itself. So it's not entirely, we cannot take our horoscope as as to how I'm going to be in this life. So if we have if we have a lot of papa we will not go, the body will not die so easily. And moreover, if people around us have also done papa, then what happens? We will also suffer. The person around us also will suffer because of us, because of their papa karma also. Or if we have somebody, old people at home, and we are going through this trouble, it is not only because of their prarabdha that we are suffering. It is also because of our prarabdha karma that we have to be in this situation where we have to go through this. So it's not just them. Their karma does not, in fact, Tidum Nandrum Pirardara Vara. What we go through as papa or what we go through as Joy or sorrow is not dependent on anybody else's karma. It is only our karma. So if we are suffering because of somebody at home who is deceased and we have to take care of them, it is because this particular jiva is destined to go through that. So when does this body die? If it was a question, no answer. But one thing is certain, this body will die. That is for sure. When, how, we don't know. It can happen anytime. So do not give too much of importance for Anayasena maranam or this Bhagavan. Some people, old people are saying, Bhagavan is not calling me. I don't know when he will call me. All those things, just let it go. As long as we are here, we have to learn to accept things around us. We have to learn to accept, because it's all our karma only, ultimately. We are accepting ourselves only. When we say accept everything around us, it's actually not, we are not accepting, or we are not giving any, we are not being magnanimous to accept people around us. We are basically accepting the results of our action that we have done in the past. So we are not doing anything great by accepting things around us or people around us. But whenever these kind of things happen, we can use it positively. Whenever these kind of things around happen us, when people are being nasty to us, it's our karma. But it also helps us to build vairagya for us. We have to get that dispassion. So use that for spiritual growth. So that's the lesson that we have to take. But this death, Bhagavan has made it as a secret. When the body is physically fit and happy, you are good, right? Nobody wants to die. They want to enjoy. They want to go for more holidays. They want to go and eat in more restaurants. They want to wear the nicest of clothes. They want to roam around. They want to enjoy their life. When the body is fit, nobody asks for death. Only when the body is showing signs of deterioration, and when we are not able to do things that as much as we would love to, we would love to means the mind loves to do certain things. The body is not cooperating. At that point of time, people call for, why don't I get death? And anyway, death is a secret. On purpose, Bhagavan has made it as a secret. Because if we come to know that we are going to die in 5 years, that 5 years will be a pain. That every day that person will be dying. So, whose hand it is? It is in the hands of Jivatma. How does the Jivatma determine? Based on the Prarbda karma. And what happens after death? This Jivatma takes another body, just like we take another dress. In particular, in this context, Bhagavan says to Arjuna, the Sharira of Bhishma, the Sharira of Drona goes. Atma remains changeless. Now let us go into the Sloka. Vasamsi jīrṇāni yatha vihāya. Vasamsi means clothes. Vasamsi means clothes. What sort of clothes? Jīrṇāni. Jīrṇāni means worn out clothes. Yatha. Yatha means yatha tata. Just as. Yatha means just as. So just as worn out clothes, vihāya. Vihāya means gives up. Just as a person, just as old clothes are worn out clothes are given up. Navani grihnati naraha aparani. Naroparani is naraha aparani. Naraha means a person. Nar nari, human being. Naraha, a person. What does person? A person grihnati, puts on. What does he put on? Aparani navani, other new ones. Aparani means other new ones. I mentioned aparani as clothes then. Aparani means other new ones. So just as worn out clothes are discarded, given up, new clothes are worn out, puts on. A person puts on new clothes. So the first line is basically an example or an analogy. Tata, so also. Tataha sharirani vihaya jīrṇani. Sharirani means worn out bodies. What kind of sharirani means bodies. What kind of bodies? Worn out bodies. Jīrṇani. The last two. Tata sharirani vihaya jīrṇani. Jīrṇani sharirani. The worn out bodies, vihaya, gives up. What is and what does it do? Anyati samyati navani dehi. Samyati means attains into. Anyani navani, other new ones. Who takes up the new clothes? Who takes up the new bodies? Dehi. Navani dehi. Dehi means this Atma, this Jivatma. So just as Tata Sharirani Vihaya Jīrṇani Anyani Samyati Navani Dehi means, so also the Atma gives up worn out bodies and attains into new ones. So just as a person gives up the worn out clothes and takes up new ones, so also this Atma gives up the worn out bodies and takes on new bodies. Now here Atma, we have to understand this clearly. That's the reason why we say, here Atma does not mean the Atma that we had talked about. Atma, Nirvikara, Sarvagata, Aprameya, Nitya, all those things. Avinashi, all those things. That Atma is not being described here. Here Atma means the Jivatma, which is the Sukshma Sharira plus the reflected consciousness. That's why we say don't read Bhagavad Gita on your own, or even if you are listening to somebody, listen to one particular sampradaya properly, because the interpretation and the meaning has to be understood properly. We cannot give a word by word translation and make sure that it will work out. It will not. So here when we say Atma takes on new body, it is basically the Sukshma Karana Sharira with the reflected consciousness takes in another Sthula Sharira. Now question might come, how come the Sukshma Sharira is able to do this job? The Sukshma Sharira is also made of Panchabhutas only. It is also inert. How does it do? Because of the blessing or anugraha of the Atma. The reflected consciousness that is there in the Sukshma Sharira allows the Sukshma Sharira to be able to do that. What is the example of this Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira? Forget Karana Sharira. What is the analogy that we can give for this Sthula Sukshma Sharira and Atma? One of the best examples that I have come across here is, for example, we have bulbs. In those days we used to have this, before these LED lamps and these tube lights, there used to be the filament bulbs. The filament bulbs, so if you look at the filament bulb, the bulbs can be of different color. There used to be blue colors, yellow, red, all those different colors. There could be big bulbs, small bulbs, 5 watts, 20 watts, 50 watts, all those kind of bulbs were there. Now the bulb itself is inert. The bulb by itself cannot give any light. But for the bulb to be able to give light, you needed electricity. Now electricity cannot be seen. Electricity by itself cannot give any light, or cannot give any light unless you have a bulb connected to it. So this electricity is like Atma. The different bulbs are kind of different bodies. And and we think that we are, the light thinks that I am producing light. And I am 50 watt and therefore I am bigger. This is only 20 watt. So he is smaller. And I am red in color, this is blue in color. This is what we actually think of ourselves here. But ultimately the light itself is not from this bulb by itself. The light is an independent entity, not part, product or property of the bulb. But without the light, the bulb cannot glow. And the electricity that is reflected in that filament is the Sukshma Sharira. The filament is the Sukshma Sharira. The electricity that is reflected in the filament makes the bulb glow. So this is the best example that we can give as a Atma and Anatma, the bodies and the Atma. So now coming back to this, what happens to the Sukshma Sharira after death? The Sukshma Sharira travels. The Sukshma Sharira travel from one place to another place where it will take another body and it has to experience pleasure and pain. So if it has to go to hell, it will have to take another body there, Naraka, and it will go through whatever the body will have to, whatever the jiva has to go through. So there will be another body. There are multiple lokas. Each loka will have different sets of bodies. So whenever the jiva comes into Manushya loka, this Bhuloka, here we have different sets of bodies, humans, animals and all those things. Same way, every loka will have a different set of body. So the body, the Sukshma Sharira travels, takes another body depending on the loka, depending on the Prarbda karma. Whereas from the standpoint of Atma, the consciousness, what happens after death? Where does the Atma travel? Atma cannot travel. Why it cannot travel? Because it is already all pervading. It is already all pervading. Where can it move? It cannot even move. It's only one there. Atma is Ekaha. Only the body appears and goes away. Atma is always there. And therefore the Dehi remains, the Atma remains. And what happens to the Atma? It is like the space. I keep saying the space. You pull down this house, you build another, maybe a factory here, it becomes a factory. No doubt everything changes around here. But the space is the same. The space does not travel. The space continues to be the same. One building has come, one building has gone. Space remains very same. So the Manushya Sharira may come, the Atma continues to be there. The Manushya Sharira goes, another body comes, the Atma continues to be there. Atma does not have any punarjanma. Atma does not have any maranam. So only the body has got this, and death has to be accepted. That is the key message from here. Death has to be accepted, and do not worry about when it is going to happen. And death has to be accepted. Bhagavan will again reiterate this point in a later shloka. So this is the shloka. We will go to the next shloka in the next class. Any questions or comments? Yes, Ashish ji. I don't know whether it will get cut. If it gets cut, then we will continue this in the next class. The question.
No, then let's do it in the next class. This is ending anyway.
Sure.
Okay.
Om
Thank you.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah.